Hello students, welcome to the new lecture of the engineering chemistry course. As we are running the unit 4, which includes 3 topics: cement, glass and the lubricants. In the last lecture we have completed the topic cement, and uh, we have discussed about the detail of the setting and hardening of cement and about the role of gypsum in the cement. By ending this topic, we have finished the topic cement. So now let us begin with the new topic of unit 4, that is glass. Today we will going to cover the introduction, properties of glass, raw materials required for manufacturing of glass, and the manufacturing process of the glass by the tank furnace process. So let us begin with the introduction part. Basically, what is glass? Glass is an engineering material and it may be defined as an amorphous, rigid, brittle, hard, transparent, supercooled liquid. It is resistant to heat. So basically we can say the glass is an amorphous, supercooled liquid, and if it is a transparent mixture of the silicates of potassium or sodium. So if one can ask that what is glass chemically, so chemically glass is a mixture of silicates of sodium, potassium, calcium and lead within certain limits. The glass may be represented by the simple formula, that is R2O dot YMO dot 6H2O. This is the very general formula of the glass, XR2O. And what is R and what is M here? What is R and what is M here? Sorry, 6SiO2. This is 6SiO2. SiO2, this is okay. So what is R here? R is the monovalent atom like sodium or the potassium. What is M here? M is the bivalent metal like calcium or the lead here. So general formula of the glass is R2O MO 6SiO2. What is R? R is the monovalent atom, M is the bivalent atom. So if we can replace R by monovalent atom like sodium or potassium, then the formula of the glass will be Na2O calcium oxide dot 6SiO2. This is the general formula of the ordinary glass, which is also called the soda lime glass. If this monovalent atom is the potassium and the bivalent metal is the calcium, then the glass is named as the potash lime glass, and the general formula for the potash lime glass is K2O dot calcium oxide dot 6SiO2. If M bivalent metal M is the lead and monovalent atom R is the potassium, then the formula of the glass will be K2O dot lead oxide dot 6SiO2. This is the general formula for the potash lead glass. So basically in the generalized form we can write glass as R2O MO dot 6SiO2. And what is R here? R is the monovalent metal, M is the bivalent metal. Generally in the manufacturing of the glass, the monovalent atom used are the sodium and potassium, while bivalent metal used are the calcium and the lead. Different type of depending upon the different type of metals, glass may be of different variety. Now coming towards the properties of glass. First, let us discuss the physical properties of the glass. Glass is a transparent, amorphous and the supercooled liquid. It is hard, rigid, brittle and have no definite melting point because it is the amorphous and the supercooled state. That's why it has no definite melting point. It has very high viscosity in the range 10 to the power 13 poise. So it is highly viscous. That is why it is considered as the amorphous condition. Plus, they are insulator of heat and electricity. It can incorporate coloring material, preserving transparency. We can easily impart color, maintaining their transparency also. So these are the physical properties of the glass. Now chemical properties of the glass. First, the glass is not attacked by air or oxidizing agents. Second, ordinary glass is readily attacked by alkalis. So please note that it has resistance towards the oxidizing reagents, but it can be easily attacked by the alkali substances. Third important property, it has resistance towards the acid except the hydrofluoric acid, because the hydrofluoric acid dissolves the glass. The main component of the glass is the sodium oxide SiO2, which easily dissolve in the hydrofluoric acid and converted into sodium fluoride, silica tetrafluoride and the water. Similarly, bivalent oxide also get dissolved in the hydrofluoric acid and converted into respective fluoride and silica fluoride plus H2O. So this is the very important property of the glass, that except hydrofluoric acid it cannot react with any type of the acids. So these are the chemical properties of the glass. Now the raw materials required for the manufacturing of the glass. First is the sodium carbonate. Basically, sodium carbonate is used to provide sodium oxide to the glass. It provides the sodium oxide to the glass, and this sodium oxide imparts the softness to the glass. Second component, important ingredient, is the limestone calcium carbonate. It is used to provide calcium oxide to the glass, and this calcium oxide make the glass resistant to the water and other chemicals. Third one is the silica oxide or the sand. It may also be provided by quartz and white sand. Basically, the silica oxide imparts strength and make the glass resistant to water and the chemicals. Next is the potash feldspar. It is used to provide potassium oxide to the glass, and this potassium oxide imparts hardness to the glass. Next is the litharge, which is used to provide the lead oxide to the glass, and this lead oxide increases the refractive index and electrical resistance of the glass. Next ingredient is the borax. Basically, borax is used to provide boron oxide to the glass, and this boron oxide decreases the expansion coefficient of the glass. Phosphorus pentaoxide. This phosphorus pentaoxide is used to provide the brightness in the glass. Modifiers. Since the pure silica glass requires very high temperature to melt, therefore modifiers are used which reduces the melting point and working temperature. So basically, these modifiers are used to decrease the melting point of the ingredients of the glass. The commonly used modifiers are zinc oxide, lead oxide, boron oxide. Zinc oxide, lead oxide and the boron oxide. So if we use litharge and borax, so these can also act as the modifiers to decrease the melting temperature of the ingredients. Now next is the refining agents. The refining agents are mixed with the raw materials for the removal of small gas bubbles in the glass. Commonly used refining agents are sodium sulfate, Na2SO4, NaNO3, sodium nitrate, sodium chloride, calcium fluoride, etc. Next is the coloring agent. Coloring agents are used to provide or to impart the color to the glass. For example, calcium oxide is used to provide blue color to the glass. Similarly, to provide the green color, we can use chromium oxide. Chromium oxide is used to provide the green color. Copper oxide is used to provide the red color of the glass. So different type of oxides are used to provide the different colors to the glass. So basically the important raw materials of the glass are sodium carbonate, which provides sodium oxide, and sodium oxide provides softness to the glass. Calcium carbonate, which gives calcium oxide, and calcium oxide provides resistance towards the water and other chemicals to the glass. Third is the sand or the silica oxide, which is also used to provide the water and the chemical resistance to the glass. Then potash feldspar, potassium oxide, which is used to provide the hardness to the glass. Litharge provides lead oxide to the glass, and this lead oxide increases the refractive index and the electrical resistance of the glass. Then borax, which provides B2O3, boron oxide, to the glass, which decreases the expansion coefficient of the glass. Phosphorus pentoxide, it is used to provide the brightness to the glass. Then modifiers such as zinc oxide, lead oxide, boron oxide, etc. These are used to provide to decrease the melting temperature of the all these ingredients or the raw materials. Then refining agents like sodium sulfate, sodium chloride, calcium fluoride, etc. These refining agents are used to remove the small gas bubbles from the glass. And last one is the coloring agent. Various type of oxide are used to provide different colors to the glass. For example, for the blue color, calcium oxide is used. For green color, chromium oxide is used. For red color, copper oxide is used. For purple color, manganese oxide may be used. So these were the ingredients of the glass. Now coming towards the next topic, that is manufacturing of the glass by tank furnace process. Basically, tank furnace is the type of furnace in which the process of the manufacturing carried out. That is why it is also called the tank furnace process used for the manufacturing of the glass. The manufacturing of glass involves main 5 steps. First is the preparation of batch. What is batch here? Batch is the homogeneous mixture of all the raw materials of the glass. Second is the melting. Third, shaping. Fourth, annealing. And last one is the finishing. So let us discuss one by one each of these processes. First is the preparation of the batch. As I told you that batch is the homogeneous mixture of all the raw material. So basically the first step is the mixing of raw materials, which is also called the preparation of the batch material. In this process, all the raw materials which we have discussed just now, all the raw materials are mixed with the chelate and the decolorizer. Now what is the chelate here? Actually, the chelate is the broken glass, already fired broken glasses, that means already prepared broken glass pieces. So basically this chelate is added to decrease the melting temperature of the raw material. Now the chelate, that means already prepared glass pieces mixed with the raw materials, and the decolorizers are also added to this material. Decolorizer is used so that this color of the chelate material may be disappeared. Now these materials are accurately weighed in correct proportions before they are mixed together. the mixing of these materials is carried out in mixing machines until a uniform mixture is obtained, and now this uniform mixture, homogeneous mixture, is named as the batch material. Okay. Now second step is the melting. This melting process is carried out in the tank furnace. This is the sketch of the tank furnace. This tank furnace consists of the large rectangular tank. This is built of the fire clay blocks. These are the refractory material. That means this all furnace is lined by the refractory materials so that heat energy cannot be go outside. Now to provide the heat energy, the producer gas is used as a fuel in this furnace. So this is the basic structure of the tank furnace. This is the part from where the air and the producer gas, that is the fuel gas mixture, is carried out in the tank furnace. In this main part of the tank furnace, the batch material is placed. Here the batch material is placed. Now when the fuel gas, producer gas, comes inside with the hot air, the producer gas starts combustion, and due to the combustion of the producer gas, large amount of heat energy is liberated in this part, and the temperature ranges about 1800 degrees centigrade in this part. Now at this part, this batch material starts to melt, and various type of oxides are formed in this batch materials. The waste gases released due to the combustion of the producer gas are now coming towards this side and released from the exit valves. So this is the basic construction diagram of the tank furnace process. So the main reaction part is here, where the batch material starts to melt at a higher temperatures. Now what chemical reactions are carried out and at this higher temperature? Basically various type of carbonates we used are now mixed with the sand, that is the silica, and reacted. Firstly, the sodium carbonate reacts with the silica and forms the sodium silicate. This sodium silicate is also known as the water glass, which is soluble in the water. Calcium carbonate reacts with the silica oxide and form the calcium silicate. The calcium silicate is a glassy substance which is insoluble in the water and soluble in the acids. In both of these reactions, the carbon dioxide gas is also generated, which is released through the exit valves. Now, overall reaction in the tank furnace at the melting temperatures is this, in which the carbonates reacts with the silica content and forms the ordinary soda lime glass. The composition of this is sodium oxide, calcium oxide dot 6 SiO2, Na2O, CaO dot 6 SiO2. So this is the ordinary glass formed in this tank furnace process here. Now when this mixture becomes the transparent, we are mixing the various type of raw material batch. Now when this mixture becomes the transparent, then this is called as the plane. Okay, now when this becomes the transparent, so plane formation takes place. That means glass preparation is completed in the tank furnace. So when this becomes the transparent, that is called as the plane. Okay, this is the clear viscous fused mass. Transparent viscous fused mass plane is formed in the tank furnace. This is the chemical composition of the plane. Now after formation of the plane, next step is the shaping. Now this shaping process is carried out after the formation of the plane. The plane is the plastic glass which is formed in the tank furnace is now shaped or formed into the desired articles. It is accomplished by blowing from the mouth of the this type of figure is here, mouth, or by means of the machine. So when this plane is blow down from this type of structure, now this is the liquid glass or the plastic mass of the glass. This is the mold in which we want to shape our glass articles. So by this type of machine, the plane is blown down to the mold. Now this mold, in this mold our plane is passed. Clear? So glass blowing is a skillful art. The blowing of a glass into bottle is done as illustrated in this figure. A lump of the plastic glass is taken on the long iron pipe. This machine is the long iron pipe. It is elongated under its weight when hung downwards. So this is the plane. Now this is blown into the mold. The elongated lump is introduced into a mold and is inflated by blowing air into it from the mouth. Now after cooling, the bottle is taken out and removing the two halves of the mold, and this shaped article can be formed. Next step is the annealing. This is the very important process during the manufacturing of the glass. Basically, the annealing is the stepwise or gradual cooling, slow cooling. It is the annealing process. The glass article are allowed to cool gradually to the room temperature by passing through a series of chambers. These are the different chambers at different temperatures. Now these chambers are arranged with the descending temperatures. Up to room temperature these are arranged. If the manufactured glass is cooled suddenly, its upper layer will be cooled down, leaving inner layers in a state of strain, because inner layer are hot now and upper layer is the cool layer. So this will develop the strain to the glass. During this unequal expansion, the glass articles are likely to crack. Therefore, annealing, that means gradual cooling, is necessary for the glass. In the annealing process, various annealing chambers are there at the different temperatures. The glass articles, suppose this is the glass article, this is the hot glass article which we want to anneal. So gradually we move it to the various annealing chambers. 700 to 600, then 500, then 400, and up to the room temperature. So gradual cooling is taking place and the cool glass articles now removed. Last step is the finishing step. The article obtained after annealing are subjected to a number of operations such as cleaning, polishing, grinding, designing, etc. These are the finishing processes. So now let us revise what we have discussed in our today's lecture. In our today's class, we have started with a new topic of Unit 4, that is the glass, in which we have discussed about the introduction of the glass, properties of glass, which includes physical as well as the chemical properties. Then the raw materials required for the manufacturing of glass and the manufacturing process by the tank furnace method we have discussed in the today's class. Now I am leaving with the class with the question on your screen. What is the role of cullet in the manufacturing of glass? In the tomorrow's live class, we will discuss the answer of this question in detail. Till then, take good care of yourself and keep enjoying e-learning at home. Thank you.